Hi, Cuckoo. Who was in here? Somebody was in here a few days ago. Oh, bye. And I just kept... Oh my god, a friend who I haven't seen in a few years was here, and I kept referring to her as Miss Baby.
Yeah.
Because I, like, only call her Miss Baby. And my friend was like, is your cat named Miss Baby? I thought her name was Opal. And I was like, I only use Opal when she's in trouble. I'm a singer, songwriter from Downers Grove, Illinois, repping DG. Downers Grove is a suburb of Chicago. It's a western suburb. It is almost never recognized when I say it to anyone who is outside of the specific Chicago suburban circle. It's where I discovered music, where I found, like, friends that I have kept in my life for my entire life. It's where I, like, came into my sexuality. It's where I started playing instruments. It's where I grew up. Okay, let's talk about music. You know what? Let's talk about music. My dad sang in a church choir. We would drive 45 minutes to go to church every Sunday. There were closer churches, but my parents were in a choir in their grad school together. And that entire choir moved to one church. Like, their core group of friends and family moved to this one church in Illinois. And they would all, like, drive to come to this church to sing together. And my dad's an incredible singer and musician. And so that was, like, a really big part of my life. Like, just watching him sing and coming together with a community of, like, people who are really into music. And I played clarinet growing up. I don't actually even know. It felt like I was destined to play clarinet, and I don't know how else to explain that. I know this is turning into a clarinet video. I did try to teach myself guitar in high school. Rather, I asked my dad to teach me because my dad played guitar. And I gave up every time because it was too hard and it hurt my fingers, which just, like, I think is a fair, like, as a young person, like, already doing, like, I was doing theater, I was doing band, I was doing regular high school life, like, trying to add on another instrument that I was terrible at, that hurt. I was like, this is not going to work for me. But that is also around the time that my friend would send me, like, make me little, like, burn me discs. This makes me sound 100. Like, we had Spotify, by the way, at this point. But she would make me discs to listen to because, like, I don't know, it was, like, a more personal form of a gift. And she would introduce, like, acoustic folk music to me. And that was a huge moment for me because I had never really engaged with music on that level. Like, listened to music for an emotional response. I listened to it for, like, this is a song I'm listening to because everyone around me listens to it and I want to know the words to it so that I can be cool and accepted in this group of people. Instead of listening to music and really, like, engaging with what they're singing about. And so I remember just, like, really sitting down and listening to, like, Joni Mitchell, Nick Drake, Sufjan Stevens also had an album called Illinois, which was randomly not huge in, like, the people that I surrounded myself with, but when I found out it was called Illinois, I went, like, insane because I had never heard somebody sing like that on an album, and if that also felt like it was coming to me, like, it was, like, destiny for me to listen to it. And it was so, like, explicitly queer, too, in a way that I was just like, how are people not talking about this? This is, like, the coolest music ever. And then I would try to show it to my friends, and they'd be like, what is this? This is the weirdest music I've ever heard. I don't, like, know how to speak on, like, the parameters of the genre, specifically, and why I sing what I sing, and why I listen to what I listen to. But there's, like, a specific emotional response, I think, to, like, simplicity in music, and not simplicity in, like, the most basic term, but, like, simplicity in that, like, there's somebody with an instrument and they're singing something really truthful. I feel like when you strip everything back and you just, like, listen to the story, it provides you with, like, a really, I'm speaking in generalities, but I'm referring to myself mostly personally. It really, like, strikes something in me. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it, like, I think because it's so in your face, like, the truth of it all, like, there's nowhere to hide when you're singing a song that is so truthful in a lot of the folk world. It's really emotional and special to me. It's powerful, and I wanted to do that. Like, I wanted to engage with music like that. And I also, on, like, a way more surface level, I find guitar to be really beautiful. Like, it is just, like, the prettiest instrument to me. And I didn't know that guitar could be played in, like, and I'm still finding different ways to play the guitar. Like, I'm still hearing songs where I'm like, I didn't even know you could play a guitar like this. This is so cool. Specifically, like, Adrienne Lanker continues to blow my mind with everything she does, but I feel like the way people play guitar is also constantly evolving. People are finding different ways to use it, and it's just, there's something so emotional about it to me. I used to try to write song, and I still do to an extent, but, like, I used to try to emulate the idols of mine. Like, I wanted to make songs and write songs like the people that I admired and looked up to, which doesn't ever go away. You aren't ever, like, constantly, or at least for me, I'm not, like, I'm always being influenced by the people around me, my peers, and what I think is cool, or, like, what I think is engaging or really honest, and I want to do that. I feel like I'm still constantly finding inspiration, but it's different now because I'm more confident in who I am and my style and what feels good to me. I think something cool that can happen now, which I wasn't able to do in the past, is that, like, I can pick up a guitar and sing something and not worry about, like, being like, oh, this isn't, like, I'm not really hearing people sing in this style in the popular music scene, so, like, I don't think I should do this. Like, I'm more, like, comfortable with trusting what I think sounds good, even if it's not necessarily, like, a style of, like, whether it's the register of my voice or too many words or, like, too wordy or whatever. Like, I'm better at not stopping myself before I've started, kinda, and just letting it continue and, like, letting whatever the impulse is see itself through without judging it too early. I'm less judgmental with my work now. I really let, like, even if it's absolute garbage, I'm gonna see it through because it's honest. It's honest garbage, and I love honest garbage. Or honest masterpiece, hopefully. But a lot of the time it's honest garbage. But you gotta sift through it. What is this metaphor? I'm a garbage man. The fan part is always, like, the most spiritually rewarding part, I would say. I don't know. That's never gonna not be, like, the coolest thing. Because that's the kind of... I don't want to say that's the point. But was the point for me when I was somebody... I speak as if I don't listen to music anymore. But, like, being a fan myself of people and still finding music all the time that is, like, changing my life and making me see the world differently as a fan with artists that I love and my peers is a huge part of my life and a huge factor in, like, what makes me happy and what, like, helps me feel good about myself. And so when I get to, you know, hopefully have the opportunity to do that with people and share my music with people and have people, like, send me little stories or ways that they engage with my music, I think that is probably the most important part, definitely, of where I am today. It's really cool getting to write things and have people relate to them. A raw mattress. I shouldn't be screaming that. She can probably hear me. I do feel like it's been really cool to you know, have people talk to me about things they've been through or ways that they can relate to my music. I do feel like a certain pressure sometimes, like I do tend to write quote unquote sad music, which is interesting because I don't ever want to make it seem like the queer experience in general is a sad experience, because that's not true, and that also hasn't been my experience completely, obviously. But I think it's important to sing about things that don't often, like, or to just talk about, not just in general in music, but specifically with music, you can connect with people about things that are maybe really difficult to talk about. And that's why I sing. I kind of, like, on a more general basis, and I learned this in theater, because why in musicals do people start singing? It's because they need to. There's no other way to say what they need to say. They need to be able to add the musical element, like, to add something extra to it to connect with people. You know, I'm talking about musical theater, but I'm also talking about music. Like, the reason why I'm singing about these things is because they're hard to talk about. And so I think it's like having it in a song is a different way of processing information and taking a story, and really hearing it and feeling a way about it. And I think there's like what's the word I'm looking for? There's like an importance to that too, and there's a place for that, and I think that's a good thing. Yeah, I think I said that the way I wanted to say that.